Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, we're basically going to talk about the entire process of how I plan my years and do like yearly planning. And spoiler, I'm actually a really big fan of quarterly planning, but I do like to do a big yearly overview at the beginning of the year. So if you are moving into 2023 and wondering exactly how you can do this, whether for personal or maybe you also have a business, I'm a small business owner and I also am a content creator. So it's coming from that perspective. I'm also a mom, so got a lot going on in my personal life as well. And this is just a really awesome way, or some awesome ways that I like to, one, plan my year out from the very beginning, but also keep in touch and have little checkpoints of, where our goals are at in the business and what things are going on in my personal life and how I can pivot in those things as the year progresses, because a lot can happen in one year, a lot can change in one year. So yeah, I'm just gonna take you along on basically the process and the different things that I do to plan out my year. The first thing, hold on, I wanna show you guys, is using these ginormous wall calendars. And let me actually move my chair real quick so I can actually show you the whole thing. Okay, so these right here are in a 24 by 36 size, and they are my calendars that hang on my wall. So I actually only use, the one I use the most is the quarterly one. So I'll give a little up close right here. It says my quarterly plan on it, and I'll have a link to these down below. They're from Kat Schmoyer. We'll have a link where you guys can grab these, and they have like different colors and things like that. So depending on like what look you like. I love this more neutral look though. It's a new color for this year that I'm very excited about. But anyway, so you can print these out in a variety of different sizes or ways or however you want to do it. I chose to do it in 24 by 36, and we'll also link these exact frames that I used. They're actually from Target, and it's just like plastic on here. They were pretty cheap, pretty affordable, and you're able just to use wet erase marker and simply write on the frame, the plastic part here. And then you can just erase it when you are done and when you want to do something different. So these have been incredible. I've used these for a couple of years now. So again, we'll have a link below, but there's a quarterly version, which means every 3 months, like you plan out more in detail your next 3 months. There's a yearly version, which is like a big overview of your entire year. So if you're someone that really benefits either from doing the idea of quarterly planning or just having something like on the wall where you see it, I actually put the quarterly version, I put it above my desk over here so I can see it like every time I sit down to work, like what's coming up in the next 3 months. And again, I really do like the idea of quarterly planning, even if you're just planning out your personal life, because like I mentioned, so much can change in a year, but especially with a business, like you can pivot in so many ways and so many things can change based on what happens and what's working. Although I will plan out some like basic things, like things I know that probably won't change in a year on that big yearly plan, right? The yearly calendar. I do enjoy using the quarterly calendar a little bit more, I would say, because I can plan out the next 3 months and I pretty much know what's going to happen in the next 3 months. So basically at the beginning of a quarter, I will sit down and take a good probably 30-45 minutes and write out on that quarterly plan like what's going to happen in the next 3 months, whether it comes to launches, promotions, personal events like weddings or birthdays or like travel plans that we have, maybe conferences I'm speaking at. I'm writing those on that quarterly and yearly plan. And so at the beginning of the year, I'm doing both of them, but then every 3 months as the year progresses, I'm doing it again for each quarter. So if things change, it's okay. And it's actually, I think, awesome to pivot as your brand changes, as your business changes, or as life changes, right? As the year goes on, you can totally pivot and change. And just because it's the start of a new year doesn't mean that that means you have to come up with all your goals for the year or everything that's going to happen and everything has to go that way. I think being flexible and pivoting as the year progresses and seeing, what life brings you, what business brings you can actually be more beneficial to your life, right? And more just impactful. Like you can have more impact with your business and with your brand by doing that. So in addition to sitting down and doing that every 3 months and really writing it out and then having that in a space where I am seeing it, I'm getting in the nitty gritty more of like week to week, like scheduling in appointments, different things that are happening, weekly team meetings with my team members. I'm writing that in my Google Calendar. So my personal preference is to use Google Calendar. I love using it for just scheduling things and making sure like the nitty gritty, like week to week details of what's happening. And when it comes to more like meetings, things I'm doing, things that are like that have to happen at a certain time in the day, right? Like a meeting with someone. I love using Google Calendar to do that. And it syncs across devices. It syncs between me and my husband's devices so we can keep track of what we each have going on a week-to-week basis. Okay, so that's more for me. And then in addition to the Google Calendar, I also am a huge fan of using Trello. Okay, so Trello is incredible as a personal planning tool and a business planning tool. I've used it for both. I love it for both. It is awesome. So essentially Trello can be used, I use it to almost plan my weeks too, in my business specifically, and the work that I have to get done. But I've also used it for personal things and like mixed in like personal to-dos and things like that within my Trello boards. I actually sell my weekly planning templates in my shop for only $7. So if you're interested in, having a system where you can plan out your weeks in Trello on a weekly basis, if that's something that just like you feel like would click in your brain really well, you can find more information on that down below. We'll also have a screenshot on the screen of a little bit of what that product looks like, but it just really helps to get you started in using something like Trello that's a little more digital and easy to move things around as things might change throughout your week. And I use Trello the most for weekly planning. Like I mentioned, I have that template down below. We also use it for planning out different launches and promotions. So if you're a business owner, game changer, especially if you're a business owner, when you have team members you have to communicate with, you can add different people to Trello boards so that multiple people can have access and they can make edits and changes. So I'll put a screenshot on the screen of an example of our launches and promotions Trello board to get an idea of what it looks like. So it's just a great way for us to communicate across the board as a team when we're planning out and I typically like to do this with my team and planning out, okay, what launches are coming up, what things are happening, and what are the different things like we have coming up that we're going to need to promote. And we can make sure that we're spacing those different promotional periods out so they're not overlapping or it's not too much in 1 month or every quarter. So that's an awesome way to see everything visually. Trello also has a calendar feature that you can then click on and see things in a visual way, like how everything's laid out within a month, which is incredible. Like I am obsessed with that feature. And so whether you want to use Trello for, sharing things across the board for your business with your team members, or maybe you want to use the same idea and create it for the personal things you have in your life, or maybe you're still in school and planning out different dates with that. There's really so many different ways you can use it. The sky's the limit. Even as like a family unit, you could use it to communicate about different trips you have coming up or your list for the grocery store. Like you could use it in so many different ways, and whatever like makes sense for you, your family, your personal life. Like I'm obsessed with it. I can't rave about it enough. And it's a completely free program. So if you didn't check it out already, we'll have a link down below just to Trello in general if you want to check it out. It's totally free to use. I don't even pay for Trello. Like we use it as a very foundational program in our business and we love it. It's amazing. So I hope that was super helpful in giving you an idea of exactly how someone, a mom, business owner, content creator, how I'm planning out my year. And again, I obviously do some yearly planning, yearly goal setting using those wall calendars. Links will be below if you haven't checked them out already, but I am just a huge fan too of the idea of quarterly planning, and I hope this gave you some ideas of how to do that, how you can implement it for your own planning and goal setting to help make your year successful and create realistic goals for yourself. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, if you're a brand or business owner tuning in, we upload new videos every Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you subscribe, you'll stay up to date on new videos. We'd love to have you stick around, and I'll see you guys in next week's video. Bye guys.